What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC Comics Solicitations video discussion videos. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the April 2023 solicitations and all the stuff that's coming out of DC this month. So this is more part of their Dawn of DCU thing. I think a lot more titles are going to launch once we hit May. Not a lot of huge surprises in here because a lot of stuff was kind of already announced. But there's some interesting stuff in here and things that I'm like, oh, okay. So I just quickly went through this ringing it really quickly, and then now we're here. So we're basically going to get to the end of Lazarus Planet, I think, in March, and then, or April, technically, with the spin-off stuff, and then that'll lead into the whole next phase. So I feel like they're hiding a lot of stuff, though, because they don't want to give away spoilers, but we'll see where it goes from here. But to start things out, here you go. Free Comic Book Day, Dawn of DCU, special edition, just some original stories and all that. So setting up the next phase of DC Comics stuff. So the big one of this month, of course, is Green Arrow issue number 1 of 6, sadly. I wish this was going to be more issues, because it's been a long time since we had a ongoing Green Arrow book, and I really liked the Rebirth one that Ben Percy did. I thought that was a really solid book itself, and I was kind of bummed when that ended, because we really just haven't gotten anything interesting with Green Arrow in a while. So Williamson's doing his thing. It's going to be a 6-issue thing. You got all the different Arrow fam characters in here. You know, you have Roy, you have Connor. There's a few I'm not quite familiar with in here. I think there's Arrowette, there's Emiko, there's Red Canary, there's Cheshire, or no, Cheshire. Cheshire's right there. There's Leanne. Looks like Malcolm Merlin there. Trying to think who's who, but like I said, it's been a while since the last Green Arrow book, but as you can see, we're gonna get a 6-issue series, and if it does well, maybe we'll get more. Then we have Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow. This is a surprise here. So Connor Kent basically takes center stage, even though his whole Dark Crisis spinoff with Young Justice was not very good. But you know what, maybe this will be good too. So Connor Kent's, you know, why is Connor Kent Superboy and John Kent Superman? Connor's been around way longer, and I feel like if anyone should take over after him, it should be that. Like the whole, like, both of them are basically teenagers, but yet John gets to be Superman. It doesn't sit well with me. I think Connor should have taken over first. He was older, and then John got aged up in that. But I've said enough about John getting aged up. I think it's a bad move. Everybody agrees. I think pretty much most people agree aging John Kent up was a dumb idea, and they're just not going to go back on that at this point. I mean, at this point, they're just not going to. So I just have to accept the fact. I don't have to like it, but I just have to accept the fact that they've just moved on. They'll never revert him back to the way he should be, actually. But anyway, so like I said, Connor's getting center stage in a 6-issue miniseries. John's going to be doing kind of the same thing. This is basically a continuation of the Son of Kal-El book, which I don't even know if I have any interest in reading Adventures of Superman. I used to like John as a character, but like once he was aged up, there's just been nothing really interesting about him. John's own book was not that great, to be honest. I think I maybe enjoyed like the first issue, but then like as it kind of kept going, it just kept getting like really forgettable. It was just kind of a disappointment, which is a shame, because I think Taylor wrote John well in Deceased, but for whatever reason, when it's main universe, it was incredibly lackluster. So I don't know about this thing. Who knows? But yes, so Kal-El's across the multiverse are being murdered, and the culprit is the man who stole John Kent's childhood. So at least we're kind of getting some acknowledgement of that story, because for, what was it, 18 issues, we didn't really dive into that. Like, John spent 7 years in basically the hyperbolic time chamber, if you will, and now he's just back aged up. So they didn't really dive into that all that much. It was just a whatever decision. But once again, Williamson is back. I wish he was still writing Robin, though. That's kind of a disappointment that he's still not doing that one. But he's back writing Superman, and Williamson's doing Green Arrow and Superman, so cool stuff. It'll be better than his Dark Crisis event, because Dark Crisis as an event was just kind of a mess. But when he's allowed to focus on like a smaller group of things and not allowed to go super crazy cosmic in that's when Williamson's at his best. Superman's loved ones are transformed into ravenous parasites. If Superman wants to find Parasite Zero before influence spreads to the whole world, he must take Lex up on his offer to work together, even if it means using another of Superman's enemies as bait. So, okay. So there's a creepy cover there. Lex Luthor being utilized, the Superman family, and all that. So a lot of cool stuff that can come about with this story. And then Action Comics number 1054. So if you're a Superman fan, you're getting a lot of Superman stuff. Usually it's just Batman spamming everything. So I think this is a good thing. Let Superman and his family take center stage, because it's Superman, right? He is the most iconic superhero of all time. Like, he's the original. pretty much. And then Batman is up there too. I mean, Batman's more popular than Superman. Look at all his movies and look at all the stuff he's just infected everywhere with DC. I mean, I love Batman too, but Superman's the OG, so he should be focused a lot more. But as Superman and Natasha Irons face race to save Steel from the newly transformed Mattel, the Super Twins are lost and alone against the nightmarish threat of the Necro Hive. How will Lois and the House of L find them? Plus, learn the shocking identity of the mysterious ghost in the machine behind Mattel's transformation as he and Superman face each other in an epic rematch for the ages. Plus, a new era for John Henry Irons begins in Steel Forge Part 1, and Dan Jurgens explores the not-too-distant past worlds of Lois and Clark 2 in a bold new interlude. So we got like 3 stories in Action Comics, so it'll be a lot to keep up with. But like I said, I think it's good for Superman fans to get a lot of options on the table. Harley Quinn, number 29. I'm surprised this book is still going on with all the things, but you know, it's a Batman-related book, and it's just going to keep going. So this just in, your gal's been cursed, and now she's got to use magic and travel to the multiverse and deal with cartoon fish and higher beings. What in the Earth 6 is going on? Not to mention, I still got my court-mandated community service, and Two-Face's goons just won't leave your girl alone. Someone's got to teach him a lesson, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a professor. Also featuring another very special in-continuity dream of Harley Quinn, as told by the 2 individuals who knew me bestest of all, my hyenas, Bud and Lou. So there we go. There's the hyenas. They're going to be involved, and Harley's getting more stuff. Unstoppable Doom Patrol, number 2, written by Dennis Culver. Explore the world's strangest superheroes' new headquarters, the shelter, as they welcome their brand new member, the Worm. Catch up with Niles Calder, Mento, Flex Mentel, and more as we learn the terrible secrets that could bring the new team to their knees before they even have a chance to get started. There's a traitor in their midst, and it's not who you think. So there we go, Doom Patrol. I still got to watch the new season. I have not caught up on it at all. Maybe in the next week or so I can binge everything and catch up on it. But I really like the Doom Patrol TV show, so maybe I'll check out the comics. So the last comic I read with the Doom Patrol was World's Finest, when they featured in the first Nezza storyline, and that was really good. So Batman number 134. It's all-out war as only Batman stands between Red Mask and Gotham City, full of bodies. How much is the Dark Knight willing to sacrifice to save the city? So we got that. Lots of variant covers right here. Punchline seems to be getting showcased here. Detective Comics, number 1071 by Ram V. Shoes, a.k.a. Cheshire Cat, continues to prowl the tunnels of Gotham looking for answers of her past, and when she runs into a horde of Asmir underneath the city, she makes an unlikely friend who was born on a Monday, Solomon Grundy. Meanwhile, the Orcam's long-running ties with the League of Assassins is revealed by Talia al Ghul, and the truths of their relationships affect both Batman and Bruce Wayne. Then, in the backup, Mr. Freeze continues his interrogation of Dr. Mead, or as he calls it, research regarding how to fix Nora so that she'll return to him as Mrs. Freeze and love him again. Yeah, because Mrs. Freeze, Nora became basically Mr. Freeze. But also, I really like this cover right here. This is a pretty sweet cover right there of them. It's kind of like their tragic romance, but also kind of a bloody, violent cover in a way. I don't know. I think artistically that's an interesting looking one. And you have Catwoman in this one as well. So some interesting covers right here. I'm actually liking a lot of the covers for this Ram V detective thing. They're very different feeling, but still good. Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo, number 6 of 7. I have not read this series at all, but once again, another Batman-related title. The Joker unearthed the true culprit behind the dark scheme against them. Now the Deadly Duo find themselves unwilling participants in a bone-chilling wedding ceremony in the catacombs beneath Gotham City. Get ready for an unholy matrimony in this horrific, penultimate chapter that needs to be seen to be believed. Okay, so is Joker going to marry Batman or something? I don't know. They did make the Joker kind of pregnant in some weird storyline. I didn't read that thing. I think that was in, like, I don't know, what was it? The Joker. It's like the Joker spin-off book. Like, I think it's the sequel book to that Joker book that I reviewed on the channel, which was basically just a Jim Gordon book with the Joker's name on it. Riddler, Year 1, number 4. This is by Paul Dano. So this is basically tying into the Batman movie. So if you want to know more about it, here you go. That's cool that Paul Dano is getting to write. I've noticed that a lot of like people who work on the characters are actually getting the chance to write them, and I think that's interesting just to see how they interpret it and like their take on it all. So cool stuff. Maybe I'll read this when it's a 6-issue trade paperback or something. Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods, number 3. So Lazarus Planet, I think, is ending with Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods, number 4. So I'll be covering that on the channel. But basically, is Wonder Woman's responsible for the destruction wrought by the gods she's worshipped all her life? Back in man's world at last, Diana sees the horrors of the gods' war and questions all she's done to ensure the Amazon survival. Is it too late to turn the tide and achieve peace? Meanwhile, Olympus itself trembles as Shazam's wizard takes revenge on his former champion. So Interesting stuff right there. Revenge of the Gods. And then Revenge of the Gods number 4. You know, I find funny that the new Shazam movie is titled Fury of the Gods, and now we get Revenge of the Gods. Perhaps a clever tie-in. I mean, this is coming out around the time of the Shazam movie, so I think Wonder Woman's going to be in that, if I'm not mistaken. So, the identity of humanity's mysterious allies revealed in the action-packed finale. With an unexpected god at their side, Wonder Woman and the Amazons are ready to take down her and her evil machinations once and for all. But what will victory mean for the future of the heroes and villains connected to the gods? So, there we go. What do we got next? Superman Lost number 2 by Christopher Priest, 2 of 10. As Superman struggles to re-enter his life on Earth, we begin the story of his epic 20-year journey, the theme of Counter Earth Space. So this is by Christopher Priest. So it's going to be very non-linear in terms of the story, probably. This is an interesting cover right here. I like the white light right here. So it could be good or it could be okay. I mean, Christopher Priest has done some good stuff, but then he's also done stuff I'm not a fan of too. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. So if anyone's reading that, let me know. DC Speechless number 1. What is this? Gustave brings style of humor to the DC universe in 6 short stories featuring funny moments in your favorite superheroes' lives. Where does Harley buy her mounts? What happens to Superman's radioactive clothes? What's a day off like for Cyborg? Be sure to check out this entirely silent comic. Okay. Icon versus Hardware, number 3 of 5. So this is, I think, the Milestone stuff. Hardware's rampant tampering with the timeline is weakening the boundaries of reality, unraveling not just his own history, but the history of the entire Milestone universe. And as the cracks in the walls of creation start to show, a terrifying threat emerges from the most unexpected place. The ending of this issue will shock you. Okay, that's got to be some sort of Static Shock-related thing. Speaking of static, we have Shadows of Dakota, number 3. When Virgil and his dad investigate the recent disappearance of Bang Babies, still a ridiculous name, we learn more about the mysterious leader of the Vigilantes. Can Static get to the bottom of these sinister abductions before more kids get captured? Meanwhile, Eben, or Eban, or however you pronounce it, goes to Paris Island to follow lead on his missing brother's whereabouts, but the Blood Syndicate don't take kindly to strangers coming on their turf. Paris Island, isn't it? Okay, never mind. The Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House, number 1. So we got all this Sandman stuff here written by James Tynion. So he is still kind of working for DC, but it's Sandman-related stuff. I already did watch season 1 of the Sandman show. I thought it was kind of all right, but I'm not all that familiar with the source material, to be 100% honest. Here we go, guys. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. So if you want this whole thing, there you go. You can check it out. Collection of Dark Crisis, Justice 75, and Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, 0 to number 7. No, thank you. I have no interest in picking this up again. I do own the issues, and I just was not a fan of Dark Crisis overall. I think it was a real disappointment in terms of events. Tales from Dark Crisis, all these different tie-in stuff that I've already covered on the channel, and it just wasn't anything all that spectacular. So there's that, another trade paperback. World's Justice League. This is the biggest waste of time of all. I thought nothing was all that special about this particular event right here, and these stories just pretty much just felt like filler. Dark Crisis Young Justice, wow. So we go from that to pointless to probably the worst thing involved with Dark Crisis, according to most people. Dark Crisis Young Justice, acclaimed creative team. I don't know. After the way this story was hated, they should change it to DOA, Dead on Arrival, this book right here. So just not really a fan of it. Like, by the end of it, it just felt so cynical. It just felt so cynical, and it was like somebody just hated their audience, or like hated the Young Justice run of the 90s and was writing it or something. It didn't sit well with me, and I believe that's the same for a lot of people. But basically, so yes. All right, so Nightwing leaping into the light. So this is just a trade paperback. Again. Black Adam. These are just trade paperbacks that we're seeing right here, and then some other random stuff before we get to the rest of the new issues per se. Okay, we're gonna keep going. History of the DC Universe by Marv Wolfman. Okay, keep going. Okay, when do we get to the new issues? So we're gonna keep going. There's a Pride special, Gotham Academy. I really like Gotham Academy. Yeah, that's a big book here. Only $40 for like 400 something pages. Okay, double feature. Oh, is this on a VHS looking set? Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, Girl Taking Over, a Lois Lane story. Oh, these are one of those like YA novel DC books, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest. Clark and Lex special edition. Okay, this probably won't be that great. Like I said, I don't really like these things. But anyways, let's get back to the comics stuff. So Batgirls, issue number 17, written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad. Nothing says spring like Apparel Park, Spring Julie, live music, good food, and besties, Cass Kane, and stuff. Okay, so besties. There we go. So, I mean, when I talked about the most recent issue, you know what? Go check out that video if you want to hear more. Unwinding after a long day of Batgirling, but the day turns sour quickly when snipers Gun Bunny and Gunhawk appear on the scene. Why are they here and who are they targeting? It's up to Batgirls to protect their fellow Hills residents and find the snipers before anyone gets hurt. Now, I will say the 3 most recent issues of Batgirls have been the strongest in the series, and it's actually been carrying over some momentum. And hopefully they're able to kind of continue that going forward. I don't want it to necessarily go back to like the first couple issues where it was like tee hee hee. I kind of like the more serious stakes of it, and when they're written a little bit more mature as opposed to just kind of lounging around stuff. It's good to have breaks from the darkness here and there, and it's good sometimes to have some lighthearted stuff, but when it's all just fluff constantly, it kind of just, after a while, just gets kind of, I like a little stake. It's good to have a balancing act at times. I think the best example of this was Superman Rebirth, where you had just the coming-of-age story of John Kent with his dad, and his dad teaching him how to be Superman, and it was just kind of a joy to read. There were still stakes in the story, but it was still, like, kind of had this light-hearted tone, but it could get serious when it needed to. So, Batgirls, like I said, it's actually been picking up recently with the last 3 issues of it, and if they can continue that momentum, then I definitely will be excited to see what they do here, but only time will tell. Batman Incorporated number 7. I kind of fell off reading this thing. Okay, but which Robin is going to be in this book? Is it Tim Drake? Is it Damian? I don't know, because Damian is not really showcased, I think, at all in any of these things. Because, like, after Batman vs. Robin, it seems to be a bit of a mystery what's going to happen. So it's got to be something big if they're kind of keeping it out of the solicitations. I think that's by design. But only time will tell. But which Robin? Which Robin is it? It says Batgirl. Is that Barbara Gordon? Is that Cassandra Cain? I can't tell. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess, when this story drops. World's Finest number 14. This is pick of the month for me because World's Finest has been the most consistently good book at DC Comics. In terms of ongoings, Mark Waid is doing really well with it. And I'm just excited to see where it goes from here. The first story with the Nezha stuff, really solid stuff. The story with Boy Thunder, it started out, I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be able to top the Nezha thing, but in some ways towards the end, I was like really just on the edge of my seat enjoying and reading it. So Mark Waid and Dan Mora, that is a really good duo, and I just can't see I can't wait to see what they do next with it. It's just a really, really good series. And I think because it's set in the past, it doesn't have to worry about necessarily adhering to all the crazy continuity that's going on at DC right now, but it just works. So if you want a really good Batman and Superman story that also features Dick Grayson as Robin, and you get some Supergirl in there from time to time, I really recommend checking out Batman Superman World's Finest. It's the best ongoing at DC right now. It's fantastic. So the story this time around, Bruce Wayne, a murderer. Bruce Wayne's billionaire rival Simon Stagg is dead, and Bruce Wayne is suspect number 1. With their friends' freedom and reputation on the line, Superman, Robin, and Metamorpho, the Elemental Man, join forces to exonerate the Dark Knight's alter ego the best way they can by finding Stagg's real killer before they strike again. Dun, dun, dun. Should be good. Batman: The Adventure Continues, Season 3, number 4. So this is still, I guess, set in, is that DJT? I don't know, but maybe? I don't know. It kind of looks like him, unless it's somebody else. But yes, the tragic story of straightening continues to crack up. Part 2, the Joker's not-so-funny sidekick is hell-bent on revenge and has arrived at the doorstep of the dastardly doctor who mangled his mind. Hugo Strange, meanwhile, Batman tangles with a mysterious foe who has a strange and unexpected tie to Straight Man. So, I don't know, it just kind of looked like him. I like this art here. This feels like one of those title cards in the animated series. So, Black Adam number 10 of 12 by Christopher Priest. There is no redemption for Black Adam. Or is there? As the war rages within the supreme ruler of Kondak or whatever, Black Adam is given the chance to head towards the light for good, but does he have what it takes to seize it? Plus, Evax here and ready to brawl. Blue Beetle, graduation day number 6. So this is issue 6 of 6, and probably the last thing that happens before his movie's supposed to come out later on this year, I believe. We haven't really had much of a look at it yet, or a trailer or anything, but we haven't even had a trailer for The Flash yet, and that's supposed to come out in June. We have a trailer for Shazam. I think the Flash trailer is supposed to come out next month at the Super Bowl. So we'll see how that thing goes from there. Because that movie's been delayed so many times. I mean, you have all the crazy stuff going on with Ezra Miller. But this Blue Beetle movie, I hope, was really good. I think they picked a really good actor to play it. They just picked Miguel from Cobra Kai. So I hope that movie's good. But anyways, so the comic itself, which I have not read yet, it's all come to this as Jaime faces down the encroaching alien armada. But is he really ready for what comes next? And what does this mean for the future of Blue Beetle? Dun dun dun. Was that Starfire? Could be interesting. Catwoman number 54. I'm surprised this book is still going on as well. 54 issues. Wow. You know what they say, two's company, but three's a crowd. As Tommy Wiseau would say. The Royal Flush Gang joins Selina behind bars, and while other inmates are Team Selina, the Queen remains loyal to Punchline. It wouldn't be jail without the ladies clawing at each other's eyes out, especially when Catwoman makes a special appearance just to kick some clown ass. All this chaos and distraction may be the break out of jail free card Selina needs. Meanwhile, Tomcat finally deals with his ex-boyfriend who tried to take Tommaso's heir, or whatever that is. I don't know. I kind of fell off reading Catwoman a little while ago. Maybe I'll have to pick it back up. Danger Street number 5 by Mr. Tom King. Probably going to pass. DC Ruby number 3. Again, another crossover with DC Ruby, which they're making a movie out of, which is pretty surprising. But just seems to be another random crossover there. So I'm not familiar with Ruby, but it is what it is. Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, issue number 8. All it says is the epic saga that began over 3 years ago reaches its final cataclysmic conclusion. As worlds burn, heroes fall, can hope prevail? Deceased ends here. So, yes, we're going to get to the end of Deceased. I'm very much looking forward to it and seeing how it all ends. I'm enjoying the new Deceased, but I honestly feel like this is a series that should be getting more spin-offs that tell more of the story, like with the first Deceased, because there's so much stuff that kind of happens in between Deceased 1 and 2, and like character relationships, we're just supposed to buy it. It's just kind of all there. There's been no real development to it and just any real background for a lot of stuff. We're just kind of just thrown into it. And in some ways, okay, I can see it working, but other instances I'm like, I feel like we probably should see that. You know what I mean? But anyways, after that we have Justice Society of America number 5, written by Jeff Johns. Huntress's journey through time comes to a head as the person chasing her through the timeline is finally caught up to her. Is this the end of the line for Helena Wayne? Okay, I've not read that series at all. Multiversity, Harley screws up the DCU number 2 of 6. Harley's come face to face with the most unexpected ally, herself. But just who is the strange Quint copy? And what the heck is she doing in the strange alternate Earth devoid of heroes and overrun by starred versions of Harley's best friends? Here's a hint. It has something to do with Harley screwing up the DCU. Okay, so this just seems like a random thing. Harley's got 2 series going on. Nightwing, issue number 103. Who is the grinning man who... Oh, are we past the Heartless stuff? Are we finally done with it? Maybe, but notice this, the price has gone up for this book because we now have backup storylines. That's right. Who is the grinning man who's always been grinning no matter what he's doing, even when he's murdering people? What kind of deal did he make with Neuron? Nightwing and the Titans better figure that out soon before they lose one of their team members. Then, in the backup, Nightwing continues his lessons mentoring John Kent, a.k.a. Superman, and this time it's about using your detective skills instead of your fists. Okay, so now we're getting backup storylines in Nightwing with the Titans and that, so... If you were looking forward to that, well, guess what? Here we are again. There's some cover photos there. But yes, why is the Superman on here? Shouldn't it be John Kent if we're basing on that? But it is what it is. Nightwing 100 was a book that I feel like should have packed a little bit more of a punch. There's some good stuff in there, but... Man, this Heartless storyline is still going on. I mean, we are in January now, and I'm talking about April Solicitations, and I'm just begging for it to end so then we can move on to the next thing. I feel like 100 would have been good to end that, but I don't know if it's going to end. It just keeps going and going and going, but hopefully it's good. Poison Ivy, number 11, but pretty much as I was kind of predicting, Tom Taylor is basically, this is turning into a Titans book, sort of. I like this art right here. But also, I still don't understand the characters' ages and continuity. Because, wasn't Cyborg in the New 52? Did the New 52 just not happen? Raven was a teenager. She was younger than everyone else. And then she's now back to this age. Please explain, how did this happen? At least with John Kent's explanation, it was okay, he went off into a planet for, 7 years. And then that was, basically in the hyperbolic time chamber, if you will, on another Earth in the multiverse or whatever. And that's how he got aged up. With the Raven, no explanation whatsoever. We're just supposed to buy it. I don't know. I don't understand DC continuity anymore. Poison Ivy, number 11. So there's this series, Ivy doing her thing just going to keep going. But yes, so, I don't know. I don't really have any interest in that one. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, number 121. I've never seen any of these books in my local comic book store. So, like, I guess they're selling well enough because they keep making them. So, yeah. Stargirl, The Lost Children, issue number 6 of 6. This is the end of this mini-series. I have not read this one at all, but I hear decent things about it, so maybe I'll have to check it out at some point. And then what do we have after this? The Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries, number 7. So Daphne's martial arts hobby takes center stage at the national competition. Gotham's got talent. It's got her into a... There we go. Cool stuff. The Flash, number 796 by Jeremy Adams. In the final minutes of the 1-minute war, cornered by the evil Admiral Vale, the Flash family's on the edge of defeat, but some surprising allies give the speedsters one last chance to change the outcome of the war once and for all. Jeremy Adams' Flash run, really good stuff. Go ahead and check it out. That's all I can say. And, of course, $7.97. So it looks like Flash, is this twice a month? Or this is just for this event. But yes. So, like I said, Flash fans seem to be really enjoying Jeremy Adams' run. I've talked to a bunch of people. They really liked it. And the issues I've read of it, pretty good stuff. It's a super speed misadventure in babysitting. As Kid Flash watches Johnny and Irate, the Flash's children. When the sleepover goes away, Ace has to bring back the twins, Maxine, and a few new friends from across time and space. That sounds fun. Wallace just being a mentor, or Ace. Cool stuff, cool stuff. The Joker, this is the one that I think the Joker got pregnant in, which is a continuation of the other Joker book. Following his explosive plans last issue, the Joker has turned LA into a war zone and Warner is welcome. He makes plans to head back to Gotham and settle some unfinished business there, but discovers the City of Angels' darkest secret. Nobody gets out easily. Now he must choose. Face the Manhunt or the Manhunter? Martian Manhunters in this? I don't know. But yes, so there's this book. Sandman, again, a series I haven't really read much about, but if you're interested in Sandman, here you go. Tim Drake, Robin, number 8. Oh boy. Who's ready for a Bat team up for the ages? Batwoman shows up at Gotham Arena with a mystery only the world's best Robin could solve. I don't know. I know Tim has his fans, and for some people, Tim is the best Robin. I don't think he's the best Robin. He's not my favorite, but I still like Tim. Maybe just not in the series. Together, Robin and Batwoman will help each other or die trying. So there you go. This book is still going on. Wildcats number 6 by Matthew Rosenberg again. With the Wildcats out of commission, Wildcats get your head in the game and still reeling from the death of a teammate. Their replacements find themselves fighting for their lives. While everyone is distracted, the Court of Owls set their sights on the Halo Corporation for a hostile takeover. Extremely hostile. Wonder Woman number 798. Bring on the Thunder. Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods tie-in. Okay, I guess I'm going to talk about this one too. To save Themyscira, Wonder Woman must join forces with an unexpected ally, sworn enemy of the Amazons, but to finally defeat the gods, Diana needs a new champion, Shazam, at her side. Will the heroine find each other before it's too late? And yes, and then all these are just some trade paperbacks and all that other stuff. But yes, so this is the comics for this month in a nutshell. I am really looking forward to Green Arrow number 1. I think Williamson's Superman stuff. World's Finest should be good. Batman stuff, there could be some decent stuff. Nothing I'm like overly enthusiastic about. Deceased ending, I think that's another must-read book for the month. So we got a few in here. Green Arrow number 1 is going to be the biggest book of the month for me. I've been wanting a Green Arrow ongoing for a while. Granted, this is only going to be a 6-issue miniseries, which I think is a shame. And but you know what? At least we got something, because Green Arrow has taken a backseat for far too long. And I think it's time that he got a little, like him and the Green Arrow fam got more of a showcasing, because Williamson was kind of writing them for a bit. I do wish Williamson was still writing Robin, though, because I really liked that book. And then we got Batman vs. Robin and Lazarus Planet and all that, and Damian seems to be kind of out of the solicitations for the next few months, unless it's something big's going to happen in May or whatnot. I figured it would have happened here, but I think maybe they're trying to keep a lot of it a secret, so only time will tell. But yes, so if you're a Superman fan, like, there's actually more of a balanced thing between Batman and Superman getting a lot of titles this month. So Batman still edges them out because, of course, Batman, but I think for Superman fans, you got a lot more this month to look forward to. Connor Kent getting something, I think that's good, because he hasn't really done or gotten much in a while. You have a Superman ongoing by Williamson. You have Adventures of Superman with John Kent. So if you want more of that Son of Kal-El stuff, or hopefully this is better than Son of Kal-El. And then you got Action Comics, and I think you got a few other things. And World's Finest. World's Finest is the must-read book of the month, per usual. But other than that, I mean, Batman 134 could be decent. Detective Comics has had some good stuff in there, too. So there is definitely some good stuff here to look forward to. But for me, World's Finest is still the top pick of the month. Oh, actually, you know what? This month I'm going to give it to Green Arrow, #1, because I've been wanting a Green Arrow book to read for a while. So Green Arrow, #1, top pick of the month for me, and then World's Finest, of course. And then you got a few other titles and some stuff I'm just like, so about. But, I mean, it's not really a half-bad month. This is like the whole Dawn of DCU initiative. May will be like the big month, I think, for DC, because that's really when they start to relaunch their next phase of the universe and that, if you will. So, got a lot of stuff to look forward to. If you're excited about anything, post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, all that other fun stuff. And I will talk to you all later. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Let me know what you're most looking forward to, and what you think of the solicitations, all that fun stuff. But, yeah. All right, I've rambled on too long. Bye-bye.